Hello there fellow NPCs, I am Scythe and today we're getting back into chasing sunsets. We have just been introduced to Mallory. Jay has just been introduced to Mallory. She did not enjoy the fact that we were kissing Mallory. Mallory has something to do with our family and maybe even the company. I don't know what yet. We threw Christian Hatchet, yes that's his name now, overboard in a different country. Hopefully he will not be able to sue us for that. And now we're having a flashback to something that happened, I think it was 16 years ago. Let's see what's going on. Let's go. The data just isn't there here. The test specimens show no improvements over placebo. Ooh. It's there, but our sample size is way too small to certify. Devin, who the fuck's that? The testing is going too slow and we're starting to cut corners. I can feel it. Next shipment is on hold, pending FDA ethics review. What we have right now is what we have. Sarah pauses a moment, lost in thought. Do you still have OR privileges at Cambridge? Cambridge? Of course. Walk with me. Oh, I thought it was a nanny of some sort, but no, that's Sarah. She looks very different, but still the same. Walk with me. Where are we going? Someplace we can talk. Just you and me. Is it a secret? Not a secret, Kurt. I just want to ask the most important man in my life a question. We're going to see James? No, silly. You're the most important man in my life. Heck yeah! Arriving at the park, your mother sits you on a bench and kneels so she can look you in the eye. It has been you and me for a long time now, Kurt. Oh! You're telling him that you're gonna marry James. I want you to know that you'll always be Mom is a ride or die. But it's not just you and me, Mom. James and Jay are part of our family now. Your mom eyes begin to well up at those words, but you're too young to understand why. It's really nice, actually, as you can see that she is biting her lip when she says that it's not just a plain face. That is nicely done. What did you want to ask me, Mom? You just answered it, and you made me so happy. Happy enough to get me an ice cream? Expensive date! Yes, Kurt. At least that happy. I'm not sure how I was supposed to read that, but anyway. Thump thump. What kind of sound is that? Raccoons? Why is it so loud when you walk, Mom? I'm gonna say she has a big badonkadonk. MV Sunset, Republic of Toonaloo, annoyingly early. Mom? Oh. You awaken to tropical humidity and the sound of footsteps on the deck above you. It's gotta be 3 in the morning. Who's stomping around at this hour? You threw on some trunks and flip-flops before stepping out into the sweltering night. The sound of soft waves lapping against the hull of the sunsets greet you. A cursory search of the deck reveals nothing suspicious. You're able to return below deck when you see a familiar form sitting near the pool. That's nice. She's actually humming. Hey. Kurt! You're up late, or early, depending on how you look at it. I've been having dreams, jumping on a trampoline, flipping in the air. I feel that's a song, but no, they be not. I do not know which one. Singing seems to be your thing. Oh, she just thinks her thoughts. You definitely have a voice for it. Mary looks away in embarrassment. That didn't happen. We both know it did. Sit. Sit. Time for some answers, huh? Yeah. My childhood was a mess. An orphan of sorts. Okay. I'm not selling a sub-story. It's just where it all begins. It's just where all this begins. My father ran away with me when I was 10 and committed suicide a few months later. God damn, just a few months. Shit. Like I said, just some background. My mother couldn't be located after my father's death, so I became a ward of the state. Go on. I went from foster home to foster home, never knowing what had happened to my mother. I'm sure you can guess how foster life sometimes goes for young girls. I always hoped those were mostly just stories. Yeah, mostly. Anyway, it's over now. As soon as I was old enough, I set out to find my mother on my own. After a year of searching, I was finally successful. That must have felt like winning the lottery. Yeah, until I actually met her. She barely remembered me. She was an addict. Her mind was mostly gone. Ooh. She had her good days, but for the most part she was somewhere else. I'm still not clear on how that connects us. Oh no, please do not tell me that this was the side effect of some drug they made. One lucid morning, my mother showed me a closet full of father's things. Mostly stuff that just to reinforce my opinion of him, but also his notebooks and files from when he worked at Pricer. Is it Devon? He worked at Pricer? Yes. For Dr. Sarah Forrester. Mom. Yeah. You know, Pricer sure has come up a lot today. He has filed a suit against us. That can't be a coincidence. Melly returns to look at you, and you see she's wearing her contact lenses. Anyway, I don't think so about myself in those notes. Also, before we continue, those contact lenses, she should have both colors, in my opinion. So that she can match her color, her eyes, with whatever she's feel like wearing that day. That would be awesome. One day she has blue eyes and an amazing display of clothes for that, and then other she has green eyes to match her style. She has more potential to style her way if she absolutely gotta have one eye color at a time, that is. Looks like green today. Including why I was a constant reminder of failure for my father. Ironic, considering he's the one who took the easy way out. Ugh. Miller stares across the water a moment before responding. I also learned I am the unplanned outcome of a Pricer effort called Crucible. What does that mean? Unplanned outcome. Unplanned outcome means fertility drug. Crucible. I have heard that word, but I don't know what it means. Crucible. It's an amazing name. Diagel. Ooh. Kinda like a fire pot. This part here, I assume, is the crucible. It's in a fire pot and you melt stuff in it. Okay. That is fucking gnarly for a medicine, to name a medicine. Just a hosh posh of different things. So there's a chance you're not your father's kid? Is that what you're trying to tell me? I never heard Mom talk about it. How was she involved? That's what I'm here to find out. When I showed George my father's notes, he agreed to let me examine Sarah's research. What could you possibly tell? You're a journalist, not a scientist. Most of that is either aboard this yacht or ashore in their office. I hope you're not angry with me. It's a lot to take in. That's why you really came looking for me in Aspen. Yes, at first. My employer was more than happy to put me on assignment to interview you. In the moment, it felt like a win-win. And now, it's more complicated. Must have had compelling information to bring George on board. My father's notes and a few other things that are personal to me. Like, please, I don't want to lie to you. Then don't. I promise, I'll tell you first when I'm ready to talk about it. You're not going to pop some Jerry Springer lost sister bullshit on me, are you? Mallory punches you playfully on the shoulder. Hey. That'd be a real trick. I'm only 3 months older than you. Your mom may have been exceptional, but I'm pretty sure she had a standard issue uterus. My memory is fuzzy on that point, if I'm being honest. Mallory's laugh is almost as musical as her singing voice. I don't think I've ever met somebody as constantly happy as you. That is a problem. I met people that are constantly happy. I have not felt that Mallory is that kind of happy I'm thinking about. But when there is someone around you that is not only always happy, but overly happy. Like, there is nothing wrong in the world. Everything is good and just and shit like that. That is usually a sign of depression. Is from my experience. Happiness is a choice. Though I've always seen myself as hopelessly flawed. My father had a lot to do with that. Some things a child just can't unhear. You think spending time buried in Mom's notes will help? I don't know about that, but something else already has. What's that? Spending time with her son, silly. Kiss her, put your arm around her, go back to bed. Ugh, go back to bed is just goodbye. This is obviously love, this could be trust, and this is nothing. Trust. He doesn't mind spending time with you either, you know. Your smile seems uncertain at first, but slowly gains confidence. Good. But if you start referring to yourself in third person, I'm just going to make fun of you. Noted. Kurt will not forget that. And I'll need to share this with my sister, you know. Do what you think is right. You both stare out to sea in silence, while your arm remains around her waist. I thought it was going to be around her shoulder and neck. After a few minutes of quiet introspection, you move to get up. This was nice. But you need to get some rest. Yeah, let's talk more tomorrow. I like that. You stand and smile at Mallory. Good night. Good night, Kurt. Sweet dreams. MV Sunset, Republic of Tunalu, late morning. And so, like, what? 6 hours later, 9 a.m. about? You awaken to the sound of knocking on your stateroom door. There we go. I can actually increase the volume a bit. There we go. Door's open. Jay enters your stateroom and stares at you expectantly. Is this a good time? Figure putting this off for the perfect time is how we got to here to begin with. Figure putting this off for the perfect time is how we got here to begin with. Jay smiles nervously in response and seems to relax a little. No excuses today. I've taped a note to the door and... do not disturb! Jay turns around and you hear the door click as it locks. We're gonna talk until it's time to meet with George. His office on the boat, right? No, change of plans. The overlook where Mom and Dad has had their wedding. Guess we're going ashore then. Is this Mom and Dad's idea or is yours just being dramatic? I think it's sweet. Honestly, I don't know. You sit up and stretch, blinking away sleep. Can you put on a shirt? Get used to it, it's the tropics. Yeah, it seems suddenly uncomfortable and her eyes wander the cabin to avoid focusing on you. Put on some clothes, boy! Those look like your journals. You kept up with them then? Yeah, I try to write a little every day. Wow, maybe we don't need to talk after all. A smirk tugs at the corner of her mouth. I could just take these back to my room and catch up. I'd, really rather you didn't. The mischievous gleam in Jay's eye only intensifies. Oh no. This is gonna be... we are really gonna get really close to that border of where sibling becomes non-sibling, you know? It's gonna get really close here. 5 years of your secret all in one place? The Chronicles of Kurt? Sis? Alright. What kind of sister would I be if I snooped in your diary? Boom! Headshot! Jay's laugh suddenly fills the cabin, but there's no hint of bitterness in it. It's been a long time since I heard that. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. We won't get anywhere if all we do is pick at old wounds. You'd rather talk about the inheritance? Fuck no, but I suppose it's part of our lives now. What did you have in mind then? Let's play it by ear. I'll even let you start, if you want. Dude, put on some pants! Pants is a combination of pants and clothes, okay? After a brief hesitation, Jay sits on the bed next to you. Let Jay ask the first question. I need some answers now. Let Jay ask. You start, sis. I'll probably have the most explaining to do anyway. Jay smiles and looks thoughtful for a moment. Ooh, trust. Hopefully we don't get... That's fine, you start. Okay. Ah, damn it! I missed an award. You start, sis. Probably have the most explaining to do anyway. Jay smiles and looks thoughtful for a moment. I figure I'll start with some easy ones. Let's see how that goes. She closes her eyes and takes a deep breath. What's the story with Mallory? That's an easy one. I don't want details on your sexcapades, I'm just asking why she's here. It's not like that, we haven't done that. That's none of my business. Why is she here? Certainly is. Wait, what the fuck was that? I looked away for this moment, so what the hell happened? Why are you making eye contact with me here? She found me in Colorado, asked for an interview. And you agreed? Yeah, it sounded like she was just doing a Polygene story. She wasn't? No, she was interested in Mom, not the company. Mom? Why? Her father worked with Mom at Pricer, and his notes left a lot of open questions. Well, why can't he answer them? Why can't he answer them? He killed himself after kidnapping her when she was young. Well, shit. Oh, that's terrible. I didn't know she was going to be at George's office that morning. I was just as surprised as you. Pleasantly surprised by the look of it. She's quirky. She's beautiful. She smiles as she says it. She smiles as she says it, but you detect a hint of worry in her voice. Anyway, she shared her father's notes with George before we arrived. He found them compelling enough to give her access to Mom's office. Wait, so you're not dating? But no. Oh! Sounds like maybe I should try to get to know her a little. Well, I guess it's your turn. How were things after I left? Is anyone waiting for you back home? Why did you bring Christian to the yacht? How do you feel about taking over Polygene? How were things after I left? I think this is an unimportant one. This is just for the fun of it. This we can save for later. I hope for that's possible. So pretty much 1, 2, 3, 4. That's right. We were in a bad shape for a bit. Especially Mom. Yeah. It took some time, but I think Dad understood you the best and calmed her down. I know George came by to talk about it, but I don't know what was discussed. And how were you? Fine. Ye's voice hardens a little and she avoids your eyes. Anyway, before I knew it, I was starting my pre-med program. You know Dad and Mom. When I wasn't in class, I was working. Doing what? Bartending at a local watering hole. Anyway, I haven't done much besides school and work since you left. Tara tried to get me to travel a few times, but I wasn't feeling it. I see. Guess I'm up. Guess you are. Where have you been all this time? I spent the first winter in Colorado at a ski lodge. Got my alpine and snowboarding instructor certifications. That's so you. Maybe good money, but really close to the lodge owners. Why didn't you stay? That's complicated. Uncomplicated. I was only there for a few months before the owner's wife and I got close. Wow! I never felt comfortable in one place. I only really slept well on the road. Look, not gonna judge here, but maybe you weren't sleeping well because you were fucking a boss's wife. That felt shitty, but no, I had heavier baggage. Called mom and dad's disapproval. Your disapproval. I'm not sure that's the right word for how we felt. I got talked into going to Belize for spring break by one of my students. That's where the travel bug bit me. Want to know a secret? Sure. Mom and Dad always knew where you were. When I'd ask, they'd say did say you were doing just fine. It's not like I didn't check in every once in a while. Oh, I know. I could always tell when they heard from you. Wait, George? Huh? He admitted it in our meeting. George said he could track my phone because it was in their name. Makes sense. They avoided talking about you around me. Why? Jay just looks away, but doesn't answer. In a way, I met a friend in Honduras and sort of tagged along with him. That must have been when... Never mind. When what? I guess there's no point in hiding it. Dad had a world map in his office and he kept adding little colored pins to. What, really? Yeah, didn't have to be a brain surgeon to figure out what that was all about. I saw Japan, China, India, about 3 places in Africa, Russia and Mongolia. What the fuck were you doing in Mongolia, Kurt? Went to see a concert? If you went to see a sky burial, I think that's the name for it, then that would be fucking amazing. Those are insane. Essentially, you leave the body out on the cliffside, and then a dead body. This is a burial after all, and then you just watch as different birds of prey come and eat the cadaver. It's fucking insane, but it's amazing at the same time, I would assume. So macabre, but it's the very definition of going back to nature, I think. What? It was free. Naturally. You're up, I guess? Yeah. He ambushed me with 2 lawyer goons as soon as I got off the plane. I hadn't seen him since the party. What's weird is that it was like they were expecting me. My first impulse was to run. I can take care of myself, Kurt, but something about that guy terrifies me. Serial rapist. That's when I remembered. Oh, no, not serial, because I guess that would suggest that he does it continuously, non-stop. You know, just continues and continues? Perhaps. Remember what? I knew if I could go back to the yacht, everything would be fine. And it was. Kurt, for me this is very complicated. So uncomplicated. Jay smirks hearing her own words used against her. Cute. I had to live with the guilt of making you leave the family. And it's even worse now knowing I ruined it all before Dad and Mom. Well, before this. I guess I wanted to know if, after all this, you still loved me enough to protect me. And if I love you enough to let you do it. Oh God, the things I said to you and Dad that night. Jay's voice quavers, and you sense she is on the verge of tears. I know a thing or two about guilt, Jay. But you need to know that I did see Mom and Dad before they died. What? When? That's a story for another time. Well, it is my turn. I'm just not ready to go there yet. I'm just not ready to go there yet. Please, let's pick another question. I told myself I wouldn't ask this, but... why did you ghost me when we were little? It takes you a moment to remember what she was talking about. Oh! You mean that when we stopped talking to school together? You mean when we stopped walking to school together? Yeah. I'd faked a sick day so I could stay home and play Shooty 2. I remember. When you came home from school, I heard what Jenna said to you. Jenna? Oh my god, what did you hear? She was making fun of you for hanging out with me so much. Said you'd never make any friends if you were following me everywhere. You gotta be kidding me. Kurt, I spent time with you because having one best friend was enough for me. Your popularity sure skyrocketed as soon as you were out of my shadow. You think that's why? The timeline fits. I only got popular because after kicking Jenna's ass. No way. How did I not hear about it? I'd have loved to see that. To have seen that. I'd have loved to have seen that. Memory. The memory is just a blur for me now. Tara told me later that when I snapped, even she was afraid of me. Oh, but you know how she exaggerates. Jenna was a mean girl and a bully. She wasn't going to choose my friends, so I put her in a place. The irony is not lost on me that you did the same thing for me at the graduation party. Fuck! So ridiculous looking back. What is? I used to get so angry when you stood up for me. I thought it was because you didn't think I could take care of myself. That wasn't it. I know that now, dummy. I just had to remember what made me throat punch Jenna. What you did to Christian was just your way of showing love, that you cared. Anyway, do you have any questions for me? Yeah, I'm juggling 3 boyfriends at the moment. Still haven't decided which one to impulse marry when I get home. Oh. Then there was that offer to appear on The Bachelorita. For real? No, not for real, you idiot! Between school and work there is no me time. I never thought I could be this tired at 24. Maybe a break is what you needed. I did need a break, but not like this. My turn? Actually, you go again. I'm working up to my next one. Overwhelmed, inadequate, unprepared, undeserving. Yeah. To be honest, my biggest fear is what the inheritance will do to us. But to tell the truth, that worry is starting to feel a little silly. Since Dad and Mom passed, it feels like you and I are moving in the right direction. Moving in the right direction, that will be the title of this episode. I feel the same way. Anyway, I don't want to talk about this yet. This talk is about us. There will be plenty of time for this later. Alright. Sorry. Here goes. You didn't come home when I graduated pre-med. No way Mom didn't tell you about it. She did. I worked so hard for that, Kurt. Why couldn't you be there? Jay seems poised to push, but something in your eyes stops her cold. I really want an answer to this one, but I can tell I hit close to home. Yeah. We can talk about it we can talk about it another time. We've come so far already today. There's no rush. No, you deserve to know. You collect yourself before opening a mental door you kept locked for over a year. I told you I made a friend in Honduras. Yes. David. I don't know how you even describe a guy like him. Teal'c from Stargate. He was a historian, prisoner of war, and even a combat hero. Sounds exactly like the kind of friend you'd make. Dude, what? Really? Does it? Yeah. Maybe. I was fortunate enough to be the one of the few who really got to know him. Then tell me who he was. A man of rare honesty, wisdom, and principle. Sounds like you inherited your mother's eye for judging a guy's quality. Well, even she got it wrong the first time. She made it up for the second. That's for sure. James and David actually had a lot in common. Anyway, all of those push pins on Dad's map, David and I were traveling together. He did this willingly? Still got jokes, I see. Sorry, please continue. He wasn't the easiest person to get to know. But he taught me first how to survive and then how to thrive. Oh my god, were you two an item? No, nothing like that. Not that there's anything wrong with that. That door may be locked, but I can still throw your skinny ass out the window. Oh, that door. Oh, okay. I thought he was talking metaphorically. But no, that door may be locked, but I can still throw you out through the window. You expect Jay to keep teasing you, but he has to wait for you to continue. He showed me that dwelling on regret just cheats you out of life. He taught me about respect and the kind of strength you don't learn in sports. But he saved the most important lesson for last. What was that? So, Mom did call and gave me the details on your graduation. Valedictorian, she said. She was so goddamn proud. I was too. You were? David and I were in Tunisia, close to the Libyan border. We were headed north to Tunis, and from there to Sicily by ferry. Sicily? That's where you were when Dad and Mom had their accident. Yeah. I was to fly home out of Italy while David took care of some legal stuff. With you so far? David's brother got rich on popcorn and gifted him a villa in Palermo. He was going to handle the transfer of ownership while I was in Boston. And that's when everything went to shit. Oh no. Dihiba, Tunisia, 1 year ago. I have enough cash to cover your flight home out of Naples. Oh, come on, David. I can still afford a plane ticket. The thunder of a distant explosion rolls across the desert. Bad business, that. Libya's going to hell. It's a border crossing here, so refugees. The State Department just flipped it to red for travel. Let's find a caravan and give our feet a rest. The whole town feels like a powder keg. Tell me what you see. No children playing. It's morning, almost no activity. Curfew maybe? Just common sense. When in Rome. Yeah, let's find some place to lay low until we can hire some wheels. Ah, tourists. You and David see a shady-looking man regarding you curiously. Aslema, just passing through. I'm not sure what Aslema means. I have no idea, honestly. The man smiles mirthlessly as two more unsavory thugs appear out of the shadows. Oh no! Everyone in the Hiba is just passing through, but travel on foot is foolish in this heat. We are expecting a taxi. The man scowls at that. No taxis are running, there's a war on. Haven't you heard? The thug makes a show of pondering alternatives before grinning sadistically at David. Perhaps if you give me your taxi fare, we could transport you. Realizing your peril, you instinctively begin scanning your surroundings as David has taught you. No police in sight, and any bystanders cleared out when these assholes showed up. David, we're men of the world. Let's not pretend you are our friends. Very well, a man of the world. Then let us not pretend you are waiting for a taxi. What do you want? As the man laughs, you think you hear the click of a gun being cocked from behind you. Behind us. Revolver, I think. I want you to. You shall be ransomed. Alive for now, unless you wish to make trouble. We're worth more alive than dead. Of course you are. But buddies don't fight back or try to escape. Decisions. Now! Before the men can react, you climb a stone wall and jump to a rooftop. Ilaku! Oh, I'm just trying my best here. You hear shooting behind you, but it's already starting to fade as you pick up speed. Parkour! Your heartbeat echoes in your ears as adrenaline courses through your body. If two are after me, David will have no problem with a ringleader. I circle back as I lose these clowns. No. You pull yourself up short and begin to make your way back to where you left David. No. Winded, you arrive at the first rooftop and slowly peer over the edge. The thugs are gone, but you see no sign of David. That's blood. That's when you see David's boot protruding out from behind the stone wall. David! Jumping down to street level, you rush to aid your friend. David slumps against stones, a crimson stain spreading on his chest. His eyes are open, he's breathtaking, and he's breathing shallow. David, hold on! I'm going to get help! The pistol the thug used lies in the dust, along with David's wallet. There's still some cash in it, so David must have dropped it. In his hand you notice a laminated white card, which he weakly tries to offer you. With each shallow, labored breath, you hear air entering the wound in David's chest. You can hear going into his bullet wound? God damn. Fuck. Sensing time is short, you clasp the hand holding the card between your own. Holding back the building wave of grief, you look into your dying friend's eyes. Normally you struggle with even basic Hebrew, but this time the words come effortlessly. Okay, Hebrew. Wait. Tahai nafseha tzurab. Whoa, what the fuck do I say that? Betzeror hachaim. A sigh escapes David's lips, and he's gone. Jay just stares at you in shock. Kurt, that's the day I learned how the world really works. I'd seen glimpses, sure, but nothing prepared me for this. What happened then? I closed his eyes. And I said goodbye. Then I pulled his body out of sight into the alley. There was a phone number on the card in David's hand. I don't know how long I sat there before I called it. I was numb. The words sounded a million miles away. I don't even remember what I said to the man who answered. I must have given him our GPS fix, because they came for us. Who came? David's old unit. Well, goddamn. No uniforms, but armed to the teeth and frosty as hell. They appeared out of thin air like ghosts. Dude, I actually got goosebumps from that. He has called in the cavalry. I don't know what I would have done if they hadn't come. The bandits might have come back to finish the job. Maybe I had just become a footnote on the news. I was beyond caring what happened to me. I only snapped out of it when I felt a hand on my shoulder. We flew home with him at dusk. Odd bunch, efficient, grim, and barely a word spoken. The silence among the team was heavy. After getting out of so many scrapes, his number had come up with a 2-bit bandit. Being in shock was the only thing that held the darkness at bay. You reminded him of Uri. Of who now? When David was in captivity, he shared a cell with another hostage, a student named Uri. David was always a stoic one, but that icy facade hid a very big heart. Yes, it did. Even after a year of daily torture, Uri's good spirits never wavered. No matter how he was brutalized, he refused to break. After night, he'd say, "Ah, David, real men don't need fingernails. Save them for the ladies." Jesus. Or pinky fingers, Or pinky fingers are the most useless fingers. David never spoke of his time in captivity. He would not have wanted to burden you. One evening, David was alone in his cell. Uri didn't return. A week later, one of his captors told him that Uri had been beheaded on camera. Ooh. In reality, Uri's ransom was paid and he had been returned to his family. Oh. Knowing David, that did not go over well. Indeed, it was meant to break his spirit, but instead David broke his guard's neck. We learned later that he killed 4 men escaping that place barehanded and malnourished. His first thought was to find Uri's body rather than his own safety. Not sure if that sounds suicidal or like classic David. We don't leave men behind. You didn't leave your man behind. But I ran, and he paid for my life with his own. Gladly couldn't. Just as you would have done for him had the roles been reversed. How can you be so sure? I can be sure because David was. The grizzled veteran pauses for a moment before extending his hands. His hand. Oh shit. Honorary badge, what is this? David's challenge coin. He would have wanted you to have it. I don't understand. It's a deep honor that only brotherhood gives meaning to. You may not understand now, but you will someday. So, during my graduation, I stayed with David's family for his Shiva 7 days of mourning. David's brothers sent the Palermo villa over to me instead, which means we're going to visit that most likely. I think he just didn't want the reminder. I moved in there for a few months until I couldn't avoid coming home. When I called with the news about Dad and Mom accidents, I wish I had known. I was so hurt about you missing my big day, and you were burying a friend. It's about the only thing that would have stopped me from being there. You were exactly where you needed to be. Jay manages a wry smile. But I'd have been super pissed if you were at a free concert in Mongolia. In spite of the heavy mood, you find yourself chuckling along with her. That's about all time. That's about all I'm up for today, I think. I just have one more question. I don't know, sis. Come on, it's an easy yes or no question. Alright, one more. Jay stands and walks towards the door. All this talk about friends reminds me. Jay pauses and looks back at you over her shoulder. Did you fuck Tara? Oh, yes, right. I think we talked about that. Linda, Ray's wife, wasn't the first one. It was Tara. I think we said that. Ye turns to face with a conflicted expression. It's not what you think. She didn't betray you. She was throwing a Hail Mary. What? Ye approaches you hesitantly. You instinctively rise from your bed, unsure what to expect. Fuck, I can't tell what she's thinking. I already knew. Oh, what? Then why did you ask? We are getting very close here. You feel an inexplicably tension as your sister stops just short of you and looks into your eyes. Thank you for telling me the truth. It would have been so easy to lie. Jaya rests her head against your chest. You feel the warmth of her hands against your back. I meant it when I said it's not what you think. Tara loves you. I know. No secrets between sisters. Be honest with Jay about your history with her bestie. I've forgotten his set. But Jesus, his body. We would have stuck together like this for a month. I'm in trouble. Good to know. Jay sighs contentedly before looking back up at you. I can read her again. Just let me back in. How do you stay so fit on the road? Fitness industry would be out of business if everyone spent most of their time outdoors. I suppose that's true. How about you don't make me wait 5 years before we talk like this again? Feels like there's still a lot left to cover. A lot less than there was yesterday. Jay smiles brightly at you before leaving. Tunaloo Harbor Overlook. But that is where I cut off for today's episode. I really did want to go through the entire question thing, so it's way longer than it usually is. But I really didn't want to cut that into several parts. So yeah, being honest with Jay is the key here. Well, obviously, because she does have a trust meter. But yeah, and I did not expect David to be dead, honestly. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. And remember, just because you're not the main character, it does not mean you're not important. Goodbye, everyone.